All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Yes, we are now live on Mondays versus Wednesdays. All off season, we are going to be live on Mondays, unless we tell you something different. Okay? So, what up, Dio? Um, Quarter host, Wildcat quarterback that runs the show, Coach Williams. And I say here, build the trenches. It's the off season. If you guys don't learn how to pay attention on roster building, you need to go back and watch the Super Bowl.
And
Build your trenches.
that's how the game was won. It was won in the trenches.
That direction. Quarterback that runs this show, Trish TV. What's up, man?
What's going on?
And his thing says media brain, which yeah, I definitely agree with that.
I can dig it.
What's up,
What up,
Cleveland?
Steve?
All right, down below. Panel 316, the good guy with the black hat. No off season for Just a Fan. That's right, Just a Fan podcast. No off season.
We don't do
We
that.
talk we talk football year round.
Like Chadwick Boseman said on Avengers, we don't do that here.
There you go.
We gonna be we always talking about NFL football year round because anybody who really knows NFL football knows that there's something always going on. It's
Always.
very little dead time.
So speaking of stuff always going on, rumblings and rumors.
Yes,
Rumors and rumblings.
that's what's going on this time of year because the league year does not start until March, and this time of year, post Super Bowl, right before March, we got all of these speculations surrounding these high profile names. Uh, this person's requested a trade, and this person might be on the trade block, and this high profile guy has been released or will be released soon. This high profile guy is going to be a free agent. So today's show, we're going to be talking about some of these rumblings on some of these high profile names. We're going to, let you know, do they hold water or do we think it's just smoke and no fire? And then also we're going to hear from you. If you'd like to ask some questions about your favorite potential free agent and your favorite team, make sure you chime in. So just go into the comment box and ask your question. Brandon will put it up on the screen and we'll talk about it. All right. So let's get this party on the road.
Well, let's first start out there on the West Coast, man, in the Golden State. The Golden San Francisco 49ers could be potentially losing a wide receiver, Debo Samuel, who might be traded out of here. Eric,
Tyshawn Raekwon Samuel has requested a trade from the San Francisco 49ers. He's 49ers have granted him permission to seek a trade. Now, that being said, and I know there's some people that's like really excited about that and everything, and it's like, yeah, he ain't do nothing this year, da 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 da. But again, these are people that's not really paying attention to the financial side of it. If he is traded or cut before June 1st, he will incur a $31 million cap hit. Now, granted, the new league year hasn't started, so we don't know what the cap is going to look like. But that's $31 million that the 49ers will not have to use if they cut him or trade him before June 1st. Second thing that goes with that is the draft capital will not be, in my opinion, the draft capital won't be worth anything for a player of his caliber. I'm not going to sit up and be like, hey, let's keep him if he wants to go. However, y'all know that old blues song is cheaper to keep her? It's literally cheaper for the 49ers to hold on to Debo Samuel. His contract expires at the end of next season and let him walk via free agent to wherever he wants to go. The dollars, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense, bottom line. So um, that's the dilemma that the Niners have. You're not going to get much in draft capital for him because people have watched this past season. He had a bad season because he had a lot of injuries. He had pneumonia the first part of the year. That was the first thing. Then he had a couple other injuries, and then he only had a couple of bright spots the whole season. People are already saying, well, he's washed, he's no good, and you can't really make an argument to the contrary of that because of what he's done this year, or rather what he has not done. However, from the financial side of it, it doesn't make sense for the 49ers to trade him because at best I'm thinking he's going to be an early day 3 pick at best. Some teams will say, hey, we'll give you a 4th. And it's like, okay, no. So I think this is just my speculation, but I think, and John Lynch has been known for doing crazy stuff. For every 2 or 3 really great front office moves that he makes, he does something that's like, what the hell are you doing? So if this is not one of those what the hell are you doing moments, I think John Lynch is like letting him play the field, see where he can get traded at and see what they're offering. And if he can't get a team that's dumb enough that he can fleece for a deal, I think they're gonna let Debo stay right there. They may not move him until, honestly, they may not move him until right before the trade deadline. That's my thoughts on that, gentlemen.
Well, for me, and everything you said makes sense. I guess the question is, if he does get traded, where does he get traded to? And how they plan on using him because he's a multi-weapon on offense.
Swiss Army knife, yeah.
Right. You can line him up anywhere and use him. And if you're creative enough offensive minded coach, like I said, you can line him up and just use him anywhere. Um, because he's a wide receiver. He's lined up in the backfield. You can line him up as a wing and do some stuff. Okay. So I guess it just depends on who wants him and what's the game plan.
It's not just who wants him; it's going to be about who the Niners be willing to trade him to. Because, like, for example, the Rams could want him all day. They're not going to trade him to the Rams
Well, that's true
or the
too.
Seahawks or the Cardinals or something like that.
Right, and
Uh,
and obviously you probably wouldn't trade him to Philadelphia unless Philadelphia just blows you out the water with a deal.
like Philadelphia would have to come to the table with something so ridiculous that the Niners couldn't resist. They'd have to make an offer they couldn't refuse. And
Right,
I don't think Howie Roseman is that crazy.
right. He's not right. Exactly. So you're right. Like a team, it would have to be like a bottom feeder team if it's NFC. So someone like New Orleans who's rebuilding. So, but that doesn't make sense. Um, I don't know. Maybe
They would want to take on his contract. As bad as
yeah,
New Orleans
yeah,
cap situation is they're not
yeah.
allowed.
That's why I said it doesn't make sense. So he's better off going to an AFC team.
Mm-hmm.
But then who takes him in that contract? And
The Patriots could, the Chargers could, the Steelers could.
now, does Josh McDaniels know how to use Debo Samuel?
Josh McDaniel, definitely. He was the one that was calling a lot of that designed a lot of the plays when Debo got hit his All Pro season in 2021. So the Dolphins are they're feasible, but the cap space is going to be in question because they're over the cap by about $5 million right now.
Yeah,
Uh, they would
you
have to,
paying Tyreek and Jalen Waddle.
you'd have to basically trade for him and then restructure his whole deal to get under the cap. But the Dolphins is definitely that is a stopping spot for him because it's a similar offense. He excels in that particular type of offense that's really creative. Sometimes I tend to think that sometimes that Mike McDaniel You said Josh McDaniel. That's what threw me off. Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins uh, can be a little bit more creative sometimes than Kyle Shanahan can. Now, to your point about Josh McDaniel and the Patriots, no, I don't think Josh McDaniel can coach his way out of a paper bag. However, that doesn't stop them from possibly desiring a player like that. You feel me?
Right. And is Debo Samuel the kind of receiver that Wes Walker was or Julian Edelman was? I feel like they two different kind of receivers.
Oh, definitely. He's a bull in a china shop. You
Right.
know,
So to me, he really doesn't fit that offense.
no,
And like you said, Miami makes sense. Plus, not only does Mike McDaniel there, Bobby Slowick is there as well.
yes,
And so I guess if there's any other team that makes sense, I'm trying to think who runs a similar offense in the AFC. I don't know what Cincinnati gonna do with T. Higgins, and we're gonna get into him in a minute.
you
Cleveland.
you can't forget about Houston.
Well, yeah, Houston. Well, actually, Houston has a new offensive coordinator. So whose offense does he run?
It's a derivative of the Shanahan offense.
It is okay. Well,
Yeah,
okay. Well, then you can throw Houston back. Well, then Houston might make sense.
yeah. But again, it's going to depend on two things. One is San Francisco going to be willing to make that trade because you got to make it worth their while. If John Lynch is going to be if this is smart John Lynch, because we got two different John Lynches we're talking about in San Francisco. We have smart John Lynch who finds these late round draft picks and turns them into Pro Bowlers and All Pros. Then you have John Lynch who procrastinates on deals and ends up paying more money than he has to, or gets fleeced in a trade, so on and so forth. It depends on which John Lynch handles this. If smart John Lynch handles this, one, you're not going to send him to a team that you could potentially see during the season or during the postseason. So, for example, Washington has the money, but I wouldn't trade in Washington because you might see Washington. You definitely, if you're gonna make the playoffs, you're gonna see Washington. Okay, and you don't want it to come down on your head that Debo Samuel went out there and put on a doggone show against your team because he's on a team that you traded him to for a doggone fourth round draft pick.
I'll tell you what, Cliff Kingsbury would know how to use them.
Yeah, you don't want that. So you don't want to trade him to anybody, any potential NFC contender, and on the low end, you don't want to trade him to a potential AFC contender. So you want to trade him to a bottom barrel team that can give you, let's say if they give you a fourth, that's almost like a low third because they drafting so high. You want to send him somewhere like that. Also, he's not going to be a threat there. So that, honestly, if this is up to me, I wouldn't trade him. Just because of the $31 million dead cap.
Right. All right.
Jesus, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
Yes, it is. All right. We mentioned T. Higgins, and T. Higgins is a free agent after being franchise tagged one time. Now, he can be franchise tagged again, or Cincinnati can give him a contract extension or let him walk. What is going to happen with T. Higgins, man? Because I feel like T. Higgins should just need to go ahead and become a free agent. He needs to and let him decide finally of where he want to go. If you didn't want T. Higgins, you should have traded him at the time and got some draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
These teams like to procrastinate. You and I, we talked about in the green room about our teams like to procrastinate.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what happens when you procrastinate. Your players become more and more expensive.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
So what we're gonna do? What's going to happen with T. Higgins?
Speculatory again. First of all, Tristan, go ahead. I've been talking the whole show. Tristan ain't had a chance to put in his 2 cents yet, so let me defer. I'm gonna let Tristan take this one first, and then I'll put in my 2 cents afterwards. Tristan, you got it.
Well, the thing is, was rumored is about T. Higgins getting a $30 million deal is what he's looking for, like the upper 30s. Ain't too many teams that's going to try and pay that kind of money because you might have the skill set of the number one, but we haven't seen you have to be a number one. So we don't know for sure if that's going to be the case for you. Um, so, like I wouldn't want Washington to do it, even though we have the cap room. I wouldn't want Washington to do it because you give him 30 million. Now you put us in a place where we're kind of limited on other spots that we can use that money for. Um, I could see the Chargers trying to make that move to
I've
have a
heard of
bona fide
Chargers.
number one. I can see them trying to do it, but are the Bengals going to try and? Well, he's going to be a free agent, so they can't control it. So yeah, I can see the Chargers going for that. Um,
I think that Joe Burrow
I
needs T. Higgins, and I think they should try to make a play for him
well,
to
I
keep
don't
him
think
there.
it's so much I need T Higgins. I think you can draft another receiver. You got Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is like 1.5 men. You can get another receiver in the draft
This is true.
to complement him. You don't necessarily need T Higgins to be the person. But if you pay T Higgins all that money, your defense was dead last year. You gonna pay T Higgins all that money just to have a repeat of what happened last year?
This is true.
So you gotta be wise in that. If that's the number he's looking for, I don't know. That is the rumor. But if he's looking for upper 30s, that Bengals need to be wise and not do that.
I agree. I agree
Yeah,
100%.
upper thirties for a number two wide receiver is a bit aggressive. Um, that's not because we're talking about Justin Jefferson type money, Brandon Ayuk type money. That's pushing it. That's really pushing the envelope. Um,
And
now
plus, and plus, Jamar Chase is looking for 40 million. So
right, and Jamar Chase deserves every bit of that. But so you got to look at that. Now the Bengals have 46 million in cap space, um, but they're only going to be able to pay one of them. And I believe T. Higgins is going. Now that you brought that up, what his desire is looking like he's going to wind up playing somewhere else. The question is, how well will he play now that he'll be the alpha dog wherever he goes? That's going to be the question.
yeah, because
Because go ahead, Brandon.
is he going to be what Alvin Harper was in Tampa
Ah,
Bay,
thank you,
leaving Dallas?
thank
Is
you,
it going to be what Peerless Price was when he left Buffalo to go to Atlanta?
thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you. You took the words out of my mouth because I was just about to use the Alvin Harper comparison. Harper looked fantastic on the other side from Michael Irvin, but as soon as he went off and became the alpha dog receiver for another team, he was absolute trash. We don't know where Alvin Harper is today. We do not know. Somebody is like
Listen, man,
well
listen.
ago.
Listen, he was in Tampa Bay. He went to Washington. I don't think he started in Washington. I know he was there, but I don't think he started in Washington.
He didn't
Tristan,
start in
you,
Washington.
you
Mm-mm.
said what?
He didn't start in Washington.
Yeah, he seen him start in Washington,
Tristan will tell you.
and then he ended up in some other league for a year. Was it the old XFL?
I'm not sure. All I
I,
know is when he said he the real number 80 when he was referring to Jerry Rice.
That's was yeah.
That was the death knell for his career right there. Let's just go ahead and put it out there. He said, we the real number 80. He came all the way to kick their butt and lost that game, and then he was gone the next season.
That's like somebody saying they're the real 23.
Yo, just no. Yeah, it was
23. Oh, Jordan, never mind. Okay,
Jordan.
I was about to say, wait a minute, hold on. My mind was in football. That's why I couldn't think. I couldn't transfer fast enough.
Yeah, so it bears relevance to what we're talking about. Now, could T. Higgins go somewhere else and prove his worth and be the man? Possibly, yeah, he could.
Now I tell you
Uh,
what though, if he ends up with the Chargers,
you
I
gonna have
think
another
he'll be
season.
successful. Here's my reason why. Every stuff will be on him because of contract, but it won't be on him like that because Jim Harbaugh's still gonna run the ball,
A lot.
and you still got Lamb McConkey on the other side.
But then you also got to see if he stays healthy. I think he's only had what, one or two healthy, like fully healthy seasons.
Who, Higgins?
Yeah, he's another one that he gets hurt.
I said I didn't know all that.
That was another risk thing with him.
Yeah, I'm trying to look now at the number of games he has played season by season because that might make a difference in how much money he's trying to get. Not well. Oh, let's see. 2021, he's missed a couple of games, which is two. 2023, he missed some games because out of 17, he played 12. And this past season, he only played 12 games. So yeah, you might be right. You might be right about T. Higgins. T. Higgins won all this money. I'd be a little leery about that.
So you're injury prone. You've never really been the alpha dog receiver on your previous team, and you want a lot of money.
Yeah,
That's
because
all
like
I'm saying.
Those are a lot
because
of red flags. Those
you
are a lot
haven't.
of
I
flags.
mean, I mean, the catches is good. The yards are good. Don't get me wrong,
No,
but
dude can play, but he
well, he
might
can
be like
play,
a he might be a two plus.
and that's probably what he is. He's probably two plus, but two pluses don't get paid like ones. Well,
No,
they
Two
shouldn't
pluses
get
do
paid
not
like ones.
they do
should
not
not.
get paid like ones.
Should not.
They should not get paid like ones. Let me say that. So
Now he could have a look like Anquan Bolden. Y'all remember when Anquan Bolden got drafted by Arizona, and he was kind of like a quasi number one. They went and got Larry Fitzgerald. He complimented that. Then went on to Baltimore, and a lot of people could say he was one of the key factors of Baltimore winning that Super Bowl, and felt like he was their number one target in Baltimore. Then went to Detroit before they had St. Brown, and was treated like that. He could have that type of career, where it looks like that. So it's very much possible, but it's also very possible that you could become somebody's number one and then you get exposed. Because I mean, I think any any three of us could probably catch three balls if we got Jamar Chase on the other side getting all the attention.
In my youth.
Exactly. So, so I'm saying like it's easy when you have an alpha on the other side of the ball. It's
Hmm.
easy. It's why the receivers were so successful when Antonio Brown was with the Steelers because everybody's paying attention to Antonio Brown. So the other receiver is going to eat.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It was same thing when T.O. was in his prime. Other receivers ate because why? Everybody pay attention to T.O. Like that's what happens when you have that kind of receiver. But when you now have to be the guy, are you really going to be the guy? He got the skill set of number one, but y'all know it's an extra thing to be the number one, like the elite elite.
The alpha dog.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. So going from one player who is trying to be the man, prove that he's the man, to one player who thinks he's still the man, and not too many people agree. Aaron Rodgers, the New York Jets have decided to move on from Aaron Rodgers, and I think y'all, I think he might be done. What are y'all
Maybe.
thoughts?
well, I tell you what, first of all, kudos to Aaron Glenn for not allowing this team to continue to be the New York Aaron Rodgers football team.
What you say?
Y'all know the whole second half of the season, I was all over the Jets and just kept calling them the New York Aaron Rodgers football team.
Yeah, he
So
turned it into
kudos,
a circus.
yeah. So kudos to Aaron Glenn, and I'm to be honest with you, I'm not surprised. Here's a coach who used to play under Parcells and Sean Payton, and coach with Dan Campbell and coach with Sean Payton. So yeah, him getting rid of Aaron Rodgers, and it's also potential that Devontae Adams could be traded or out of New York as well as Alan Lazard. So but anyway, focusing on Aaron Rodgers. Look, hey, Aaron Rodgers done. Aaron Rodgers is done. Yeah, he just it's time to retire. He probably we'll see if he retires. He may not, but if he doesn't retire, I think it's a mistake for him.
Yeah, I think that because you still have some people who are like, yeah, Aaron Rodgers could go out to San Francisco and that there was literally somebody, a content creator that said the 49ers should sign Aaron Rodgers and not pay Brock Purdy.
And and all you're gonna do is just take a step back.
And I was like, put the crack pipe down.
You gonna take a step back if you bring in Aaron Rodgers and give her to Purdy.
Hey,
First of all, the age difference is minimum 17, 18 years, maybe more.
this man is 25 years old. He
So
just came off of take you to the Super Bowl, and it wasn't his fault they lost it. Before that, he took you to an NFC Championship game, and he was an MVP candidate. And he's 25, which means he still got potential to grow. And you mean to tell me that some fool, there's still some people that's out there that think this, because again, we are living in idiocracy. But there's some people that's out there like, yeah, Aaron Rodgers could go and be the starter at San Francisco. They win a Super Bowl. No. The Aaron Rodgers 5 years ago probably could have done that. Okay. Not this Aaron Rodgers. This Aaron Rodgers is just like my towels downstairs in my laundry room. They washed. Okay. All right. I gotta fold them after this podcast and go to bed. But what I'm trying to tell you is that, then you got the ones that are not as bad, but they're like, well, Aaron Rodgers could be a great backup in San Francisco to Brock Purdy. With all of the controversy and off the field foolishness that he brings, why would you want something like that to disrupt your team? Why would any team want that? Honestly, because he's going to bring foolishness with him when he comes. And then on top of that, finna be 43 years old.
no, he's no, he, no, no, he's gonna be 41 for a while because he just turned 41 in December. I'm looking at it now.
Oh, okay, 40, excuse me. He finna turn 42. But hey man, that's a 40-some-year-old quarterback.
But that, but
What are we even talking about here? You know what I'm
but
saying?
but that's what I'm saying. Like it's a big 15-year swing, for a 16-year swing between Purdy and Rodgers. Like, and Rodgers is declining, or he has declined, and Purdy is still creeping on the come up. Because really, he just finished his third season. He's not even in his prime yet. He's getting ready to enter his prime. But no,
Yeah,
that would
we ain't seen the best of Purdy yet.
I don't
Like
no.
even
Aaron,
want to talk about Brock Purdy because the whole thing's asinine. Just any team.
there's only one team. If it's even logical, there's only one team that would make sense. It wouldn't even make sense so much, but it would be like, I guess, and that's the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh wow.
It's literally the only squad, and the reason why
Okay, I'm listening.
My Tomlin and that staff is the only staff I trust that can weather the Aaron Rodgers storm as far as all the off the field stuff,
The
all
foolishness.
the fanfare and all that comes with him.
Just
Okay.
call
One,
it what it is, Tristan. The
two,
foolishness.
yes, two, their offensive structure does not need Aaron Rodgers to be Aaron Rodgers of 34 years ago. He just has to be better than Kenny Pickett, Russell Wilson,
And Justin
he,
Fields.
and Justin Fields. That's it. He just need to be that. It's also going to give somebody that can probably temper Pickens,
Oh
because
God.
that's one thing that Aaron Rodgers does know how to do. I'll give him that credit. He'll make your number one receiver. They'll be best friends. He can weather that. It's the only team that makes sense. There's no other team in the league that warrants it, that can handle it, and that would want him. Not even the Vikings. There's no other team. The Steelers are the only squad that it would make sense to me.
Well, speaking of the Steelers, they have somewhat of a dilemma, and that's next on our list. We were talking about uh, high profile players. Russell Wilson and Justin Fields are both free agents, if I'm not mistaken, for the Steelers. And is looking like Russell Wilson may be on the outs in Pittsburgh, which kind of makes sense. I can see them going with the younger quarterback. Um, I believe personally that Russell Wilson is not done. He's done as a starter. I don't think he's done as an NFL quarterback. I think he could go somewhere and be a good bridge quarterback for some team. And then eventually revolve into a backup role, or he could go to a team and go straight in as a backup. Um, my thoughts are the Las Vegas Raiders is a good spot for him with Pete Carroll being there, or just being a backup for some of these teams that already have an established quarterback. Because let's be real, the days of Russell Wilson stringing together a slew of wins and you feel confident about him, I think those are quickly diminishing. But I still feel like Russell Wilson as a backup, if your starter is out for 3 weeks and you're in the right situation, Russell Wilson can win you 2 of those 3 games, maybe even 3 of those games, until while you wait for your starter to get back. So I think that's my take on Russell Wilson. I think his days as a starter, as the lead dog of your offense, I think those days are gone. But I do think he has value as a backup. What are your thoughts, gentlemen?
If he wants to be a starter, he's he needs to go to the Raiders. It makes too much sense
Go to
because
where?
the Raiders.
I
Oh,
agree.
yeah.
If he wants to start, you go to the Raiders. You already understand that you're a borderline Hall of Famer. You know your career is about to be a wrap. You go to the coach that made you the most successful.
Yep.
You go to the I like that. You go to the coach that made you the most successful. You go to a team that just needs stability while they try to figure out who the quarterback of the future is. If I'm the Raiders, I'm doing it because I can give him a 1 or 2 year deal and then get one of these heralded quarterbacks either next year or the year after
Hmm.
to
Yes.
to learn under him. It makes too much sense that it be the Raiders.
That's the
Plus,
only logical place I could think of. Go ahead,
plus,
Brandon.
and I told before you got into the green room, T, I told Eric. I said, listen, Chip Kelly wanted Russell Wilson coming out of college when he
Yeah,
was in
he did. He
Philadelphia,
liked them. Yep.
and Chip Kelly's not an OC. So you got two coaches that will sit there and say, look, we don't mind bringing him in. He's a fit for the offense still. We know what to do. Now, Russell Wilson, you're gonna be going to your fourth team in as many years, so time is ticking on him. But yeah, he's definitely a bridge quarterback for about a year or two. Other than that, he's a backup, and the Raiders is the most logical team.
It makes the most sense.
Yep.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, staying in talking about quarterbacks. Um. Mr. Kirk, I can't do anything but provide empty calories for your fantasy team,
You like
Cousins.
that?
Yeah, I no, I never have. Um, he's on the outs, it appears, in Atlanta.
It needs to be.
Uh,
We should never start it.
yeah, he's on the outs in Atlanta, which of course we were like, why is he there in the first place? But what do you guys think? And I'm not gonna take this segment over. I'm gonna let you guys talk. What do you think the market for Kirk Cousins is and the possible landing spots for him could be?
Well, I guess now I would assume now that Kirk
Cleveland.
Cousins is healthy off of that injury. That's got to be my assumption.
Yes. Cleveland.
You said Cleveland,
Cleveland.
but my question is though, you already stuck on Deshaun Watson's contract. Like, how much money are you trying to pay Kirk Cousins?
Look
He,
like Chuck.
he's already made his money. You don't give him that kind of money. If he wants to play, which based on interviews he's done, he feels like he got a lot of football left. You want to play, you're gonna take. I mean, he ain't gonna take league minimum, but you're not gonna get these blockbuster contracts that you've been getting. That ship has sailed. You go to Cleveland because they're done with Deshaun Watson. You go to Cleveland again, same situation as Russell Wilson. You go to Cleveland, they can wait to draft another QB to learn under you, and you could just go off in the sunset because you done made your money. There's nothing more to give. There's no other team that's going to take you because we've seen it. The one thing that he's consistent with is he going to give you a bunch of empty calories.
Yep.
That's the one thing consistent with him. He's going to do enough that he's going to make you be like, "Ooh, we might be on to something," and then will flail on you.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
in, but for Cleveland, empty calories will be a success for them.
It would be. It really would be.
So
I got one for you.
go ahead. I say Cleveland.
New York Giants.
Yeah, yeah, because you need a mature person in the room, and that's one thing. Kirk is professional. To temper
And
the fans of New York after the Saquon stuff and all the stuff they done. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah,
and he can get the ball to Malik Neighbors. Now it won't be consistent.
but he'll get the ball to him.
He'll get the ball to him.
It'll be fairly consistent. I mean, Justin Jefferson had great numbers. It's just the
That's true.
clutch
That's true.
plays. It's
That's
the
true. That's
clutch
true.
plays that
That's
weren't
true.
there. Yeah, it's
Now
the clutch
I
plays
tell
that
you
weren't
what
there.
though. I tell you what. And another name we didn't bring up in the green room for quarterback to be on the move. I heard Stafford could go to New York for the Giants.
Let me tell you
Not for
something.
what not for what they giving up.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. If the New York Giants are stupid enough to pull off to trade when you got the third overall pick in the draft,
I don't think the Giants will give it the number three overall pick.
Yeah, I mean Matt Stafford could play, but he ain't no number three pick trade worthy. Not now.
but if they, I'm sorry,
But he can still throw a pill. He can still throw the pill, but not number three pick.
I'm just saying.
How old is he now?
37.
That's right. It is 37. You're right.
But it's neither here nor there for me. But if Matt Stafford is on the move and he winds up in New York, that's going to tickle the hell out of me.
If he ends
That's
up in New York, but the trade value seems fair, it's a great move for New York
for
because
New
Matt
York.
Stafford could play.
For New York, it's definitely a great move.
For
It's not
Stafford,
so.
it's gonna be miserable.
Who gonna play quarterback for the Rams?
The Rams need to find a look. The Rams
I
are
think
still
they're
somewhat rebuilding.
I think they're rebuilding. I think they're in a position where they want to rebuild the roster, then they get the quarterback. Because they
Right.
gambled. They gambled to get the chip. They got the chip. So they kind of got this cushion of being mediocre because what they gambled for, they accomplished it.
I'm
So
just
they
saying they finna go
Oh no,
back to
he's
where they
right. He's
belong.
right because look, Cooper Cup is on the outs. So if Cooper Cup is on the outs and Stafford, let's just say Stafford is on the outs.
you got a
The
young
only
you got a young defense that's
right,
talented. So
especially
you're
on the
just
defensive
rebuilding
line.
your
The
offense.
defensive line is young. You have
Yeah,
Puka Nakor at wide receiver, and then they got what's up running back's name? Karen
Kyron
Williams.
Williams.
Karen Williams.
yeah.
So
So you're just rebuilding the roster, and then you wait till you can get a quarterback to land. But
yeah.
you built the cushion based on what Sean McVay's signing, what they gambled to get that chip. They got what they needed. So now you give him the cushion to build it the right way.
As a Niners fan, that would tickle me.
Well, we know it would tickle you, Eric, because
I'd
you're
be
in the
like,
same division. But
And then
again,
regardless, if your team is healthy, y'all have
we dog
foot
walk
on
them
that
anyway
division's neck.
with Stafford there or
right?
not.
You
Yes.
right. You
Right.
win in the division anyway, man. So my thing is, you.
Let me
My
just
thing
make it
is,
easier.
well, of course it makes it easier, but don't. Here's the thing: what you need to be worried about, Eric. You need to make sure your team stays healthy. One, and as long as that's you're in the playoffs. Your mind next year needs to just hey, look, retain Brock Purdy, stay healthy, because we're going to the playoffs. You need to
Well,
be worried about
that's
Washington. Hold on. You need to be worried about Washington, Philadelphia,
and Detroit.
Detroit, Green Bay, and that's about it.
I think
I
Green
ain't,
Bay's still too young.
I ain't
Green Bay
worried about
needs an
Detroit.
adult. Yeah,
They
Green Bay needs
young.
an adult in the room.
I ain't
They
worried
still
about Green Bay.
young. They
That's true.
talented. They talented, but they young. They need an adult in the room.
That's
Jordan
true.
Love is not ready to be the leader yet.
So So since we segue talking about we were already in the NFC West, let's talk about a quarterback who is not on the move, whose owner has said he is committed to paying him. That's Mr. Brock Purdy in San Francisco. This is
You
a
absolutely.
huh?
It's absolutely. It'd be stupid not to.
Well, yeah, but there's controversy surrounding his. You have some because there's been nothing but hate surrounding this man since he started.
And
So
but it shouldn't be.
I'm sorry.
you
When healthy, where was he?
exactly.
Where
No, no,
did
no,
his
no.
season
You
go?
preaching to the choir. We know, but there's a bunch of people out there
I'm
that
about to
think
say
he ain't all that.
that first Super Bowl, the Eagles had no business being in it.
Thank you.
But Purdy got hurt.
Thank you.
Preaching to the choir.
They were on a fourth string quarterback for the
Literally.
season.
Preaching to the
They
choir.
almost had Debo taking snaps. What are we talking about?
Christian McCaffrey. But yes, preaching to the choir.
Like,
But
what are we talking about here?
that there are naysayers.
Look how he played this year. He had nobody on there. He
The
had me
man
playing wide receiver for him.
the
What are you talking
man
about?
was and the man was a Pro Bowl alternate even in his worst season.
This was his worst season.
And was
And there,
still a Pro Bowl alternate.
yeah, there's like 10 teams that would have taken what he did this year.
So
What are we
yeah,
talking about?
again, preach it to the choir. You preach to the choir. But there are some people that, well, he's he's a system quarterback. He's not that good. You saw what he did without his weapons. And it's like, what quarterback gonna just elevate?
He's a system quarterback. Okay. So are 28 other quarterbacks in the league.
Thank you. He can't do that without his weapons. Why you want to pay him that much?
What quarterback has done something without weapons?
Huh.
Again, preach to the choir.
Ha ha
Even
ha
Patrick,
ha.
Even Patrick Mahomes was human.
Thank you.
Thank you. But there are a bunch of people who lick the condensation off of windows and eat crayons that are saying that he shouldn't get paid. I've heard everything from don't pay him, make him play out his final year. I've heard go ahead and pay him, but lowball him, offer him like $35 million a year. I'm like, that's a slap in the face. Because then you have quarterbacks like Tua, you have quarterbacks like
Dak,
Trevor Lawrence. You have I ain't even going there. You got quarterbacks who are in that $50 million range that he dog walks. Like if I'm
Brock
his
Purdy should get every penny that Dak gets.
exactly. And as people are like, oh, Dak's a better quarterback. When has Dak proven that he's a better quarterback with his empty
Where?
calories?
When was the last time Dallas Cowboys in the conference championship?
Thank you. Brock Purdy's been there twice.
Twice. And
Twice.
really would have won the other one had he not got hurt.
Yeah. So, but there's people that are saying that he shouldn't get.
Here-
I think the floor is 50 million, somewhere between 50 and 60 million.
Here's my thing. Aaron, you could just sit back. Sit back and relax. Here's my thing. What are the options? What are the options that are better than Brock Purdy and what he's done in his young career?
Oops.
This was a Mr. Irrelevant. This was a Mr. Irrelevant. He should have been at best in the practice squad.
Thank
At
you.
best.
Thank you.
So what are your options for all the 49er fans, quote unquote, that say they should lowball him or not pay him? We're gonna find another quarterback. You mean to tell me like when your head coach took 3 first rounders to try to get Trey Lance? Where's Trey Lance at right now?
A
And
free agent.
who beat him out? Oh, you mean the same GM and the same head coach that paid all that money to Jimmy Garoppolo? Who beat him out? So
Jimmy
what we talking about
Garoppolo
here?
might be the new starter in LA.
So what we talking about? What we talking about? Like y'all acting like they just handed the man the keys. They tried. Y'all watched it. They tried to put other quarterbacks in there. He beat them all. So what we talking about here? Get your mind settled in. Brock Purdy is your guy for the foreseeable future, and rightfully so. He does everything well. This is my thing. I watched this kid when he was what was it? What was it?
Iowa State.
Arizona,
Iowa State.
Iowa State. I watched this kid, and I was like, this kid's a gamer. Did I think he was going to do what he's doing now? No, but he was a gamer. He was a gamer. His team was in games, and it was because of him. So for him to come in and do what he's doing, and this whole thing with system quarterback, You still have to be good enough to master the system.
and
Thank you.
elevated.
You still have to be talented. You can't just, they can't fit you in it like that. You still gotta Jimmy Garoppolo didn't do it. Trey Lance didn't do it. Sam Darnold didn't do it. All y'all, so you brought in guys that were higher value than Brock Purdy.
He beat him out.
Sam Darnold, top five pick. Jimmy Garoppolo, second round. Trey Lance, what was he, number two? Number
Number
three?
three.
Number three.
Okay. And Mr. Irrelevant beat all of them. So stop with that. Stop with that foolishness. Brock Purdy is the guy. And if y'all don't want him, there are probably 15 other teams that would take Brock Purdy right now.
Yes, they would. And shoot, hold on. Indianapolis is one of them. Because
Cleveland is another one that would
oh,
take him.
Cleveland's definitely another one. The Raiders will use them.
The Raiders would take him. You think the Vikings wouldn't take Brock Purdy right now, even with the fact that they got JJ McCarthy?
Yep.
You think the Vikings wouldn't take him right now? Let's get out of here. The Cowboys probably would take him right now.
The Dolphins would take them. Because Tua can't stay healthy.
Exactly. You think the Jets are needing a quarterback right now? You
The
think the
Giants,
Jets
the Titans,
get out of here? So all
the
y'all that keep
Saints.
talking all this stuff, like y'all acting like some spoiled little brat kids. Like y'all done had all this fantastic quarterback play all these years. Listen, Joe Montana retired when? Okay, y'all only had like two, three really good years of Alex Smith. Y'all had a splash in the pan of
Jeff Garcia.
Kaepernick.
Don't
Jeff
forget about
Garcia.
Jeff
Jeff
Garcia.
Garcia was another splash in the pan. This is the most consistent quarterback play as far as a championship pedigree since Cat played in the Super Bowl. Y'all better get out of here. Y'all acting like y'all had Hall of Fame quarterbacks all these years. Y'all
And
better stop.
and that's been the issue with Niners fans for the longest. They're spoiled. You know, you had two Hall of Famers back to back, Joe
You know
Montana,
what?
Steve
You
Young,
know what?
and
I said that a long time ago.
yeah,
Team fans can be spoiled if you've been having quarterbacks, and I mentioned San Francisco
yeah,
having Joe Montana and Steve Young,
back to
and
back,
you got spoiled off of that.
yeah.
Not saying you, Eric, but I'm just saying like
No, 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 yeah, I know what you mean.
certain fans got spoiled off of that.
Yeah,
It happens. And listen, New Orleans had Drew Brees. You got spoiled. New
hmm
England, you had Tom Brady. You got spoiled.
spoiled.
And whenever Patrick Mahomes is finished in Kansas City, whoo,
They're gonna be
them
right.
fans not gonna know how to act.
They're gonna be riding. Yeah.
Listen. It's like having an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
It's like having an addiction because guess what? Once
You're
you
gonna
try
be
to come off
withdrawal.
that drug, ooh,
And withdrawal
ooh,
symptoms, mug, boy, I tell you.
man.
But yeah, so but in the case, let's talk brass tacks about his deal. Realistically speaking, they're due to lose should they trade Debo Samuel before June 1st. They're going to be $31 million in the hole for dead cap. Okay. They still have to re-sign Dre Greenlaw, a couple of other low-level free agents, and then they still have to be players in free agency because at this point uh, the Niners window is still open, but it's like cracked open. It ain't wide open anymore. So they do have to be very careful about how they structure Brock Purdy's contract. Um, because this first year they're gonna need all their money um for to put some
Players.
pieces around him. The offensive line is a wreck. Um, they need a new center. They need a right tackle and need a left guard. Left guard is going to be leaving in free agency. Um, the interior defensive line is not what it should be. They were 26th against the run last year, that is not 49ers defense. Robert Sala's back. That's gonna play a large role into it, but you still need pieces. So they have to be financially smart.
But here,
Uh,
here's the reason why I feel like y'all will be okay with Bill Eric, because he was Mr. Irrelevant. His salary for these past what 3 4 years on that rookie deal,
3 years.
any significant bump for him is going to pay dividends. And I'm pretty sure, I can bet my bottom dollar. I'm pretty sure that he's looking at what Joe Burrow is going through.
Hmm.
He's looking at what Patrick Mahomes has done. He's looking at um what Josh Allen's team has done with his contract. And I'm pretty sure he's like, hey, if y'all are invested in me for the long run, y'all can elongate my contract deal just so we can have the money to keep key pieces and keep adding pieces.
And
If
I'm
y'all invest in me on the number,
and I'm hoping that's what he's thinking.
I'm sure that's what he's
Because
thinking.
I know if I'm his agent, I'm going in there and like I'm dropping the names of every quarterback that makes more than him that he's better than
And
on
but
that
I'm
desk, on Jed
but I'm
York's desk. Yeah.
but I'm telling you why. I'm gonna tell you why I think it's very much so possible. The Cincinnati Bengals. If I'm a young QB and I got talent and I'm looking at what's going on with Joe Burrow, because they're in a conundrum.
Yeah, they are.
Joe Burrow had arguably one of the greatest, like top, I'm not exaggerating,
Yeah.
top five greatest quarterback seasons and did
Yeah.
not play in the playoffs.
Yeah. Because
And they
defense
have to make hard decisions because that defense is bad. Your
outside of
best,
Trey
your
Hendrickson, that defense was awful.
and Trey Hendrickson might consider leaving because they don't know if they can pay him. Your number two A receiver, you don't know if you're going to sustain him. And they still got to work on the offensive line. They are in
And get a running
trouble.
back.
And a running back. They are
Mhm.
in trouble because of the number that they put on Joe Burrow and then realize, oh man, this roster is not good enough.
That's why contract structure really matters in this
It
particular.
matters.
It's like paramount. People look at the APY average per year, and they'll say that number, and they don't realize that's not what he's getting paid that year. Like, so he gets 61 million. He's not getting paid 61 million next year. It's the average of that. So he can make 12 million year one and the next year make 34 million. It's about how the contract is structured for people who don't understand
Exactly.
how the salary cap. It's a lot of people that claim to be football fans that have no clue how contracts and the salary cap works.
And that's
And
why I told people when the whole thing happened with the Chiefs, I said, y'all think this is the last time y'all gonna hear from Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs? There's a reason why his contract is what it is. You think they
Mhm.
can't retool?
Yep.
They
Oh,
going to
don't
retool.
they're gonna
Kansas
retool.
City going to retool.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes' contract
Can,
ain't taking that heavy hit yet until like another 3, 4 years.
It's all about
Kansas
structure.
Kansas City might take a dip for a year or two, and then they be right back at it.
They'll be right back in the swing.
Hmm. Yeah. And that's a lot of people not really looking at it. And it's like, hey man, it's about how you structure those contracts. It's how do you keep a team like that and da 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 da, you know, how do you keep a team like that together and blah 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 blah.
It's
But
tough.
but if
You
you
remember when
structure the contracts right, you can keep a well stocked team. But you have to structure those contracts right. You can't pull up Mickey Loomis because
remember when we exactly. Remember what we talked about with Lamar Jackson? We all said, hey, Lamar Jackson deserves his money because he's awesome. We all said that.
yes,
But we
yes,
also said, Lamar, be wise because look at the roster you've had to deal with
hmm,
and where you're trying to go. Look at the roster and where you're trying to go. Do
hmm.
Hmm.
you really want them to give you a blank check? So you're the only talented person on your team? Like those are things you got to think about. You know what? I never understood, especially quarterbacks. Y'all watch this man Tom Brady do this for 20 years.
Hmm.
Y'all watch this man take discounts.
Good example.
Y'all watch this man take discounts for 20 years.
Yes, sir.
And none of y'all thought, ooh, let me get that. Tom Brady's getting paid how much to talk on a microphone? Because he's Tom Brady.
Tom freaking Brady. Fun fact: Pat Mahomes is 0-2 at Super Bowls where Tom Brady is present.
That's why Tom Brady is the GOAT. It's Tom Brady. So I'm like, if I was someone that was blessed enough to be able to play quarterback in the NFL, and I watched what Tom Brady did, and everybody said I want to be like Tom Brady. I watched Tom Brady. I watched Tom Brady. Did y'all watch how he negotiated his money? Because now he getting paid on the back end and enjoying the fruits of his labor.
Yep.
Yep.
So I
Yeah. So,
mean,
And it's
have that.
and it's easy for Tom Brady to get an endorsement because he was a clean NFL player.
He was a clean NFL player, 7 championships. It's easy. He was the golden boy for 2 decades. And then Patrick Mahomes came in and did the same thing. He said, "Oh yeah, I want what y'all did. Give me 10 years, p- split my money out, because I want Chris Jones back in here.
Yep.
I want
yep.
Travis Kelsey back in here.
Hmm.
Come on, just think, like, look, all y'all trying to get your money as if y'all gonna be gone tomorrow. You play quarterback. The way the rules are on average, if you're healthy, you're gonna play like 15, 16 years.
Especially with the rules the way they are now.
Yeah,
Hmm.
And guess what? Guess what? You build your status, your brand in the playoffs,
in the
and the
playoffs
further
with
and
championships.
the further you get to the yes, especially championships, the further you get to in the playoffs, especially in the Super Bowl, the more people are going to want you at the end of the day when you're retired and
That's
you
it.
and they want endorsements done. Patrick Mahomes is doing State Farm commercials left and right. I think he might be doing T-Mobile commercials right now. He's not even retired yet.
Head and shoulders with Troy Polamalu
Yes,
Yep.
that's three endorsements right there that we know of. Not to
that
mention
we know
anything
of.
anything that he could be doing locally in Kansas City that's only been advertised in Kansas City metropolitan
Exactly.
area.
Oakley Shades. You're gonna make your money. But why is he able to do that? Because he wins. Just follow the blueprint. It's been laid out for you. Follow that blueprint. If you're that guy, you're that talented, like the Joe Burrows, like the Josh Allens, like the Lamar Jacksons. If you're in that tier or close to that tier, you're gonna tell your agent, hey, give me money that I can enjoy, but give the team the ability to do what they need to do to make sure this roster is always good around me. I'm sure that's how Brad Purdy's thinking. Not like Dak. That Dak was like basically just back up the truck. Okay, Dak, go ahead, figure it out. Since you wanted all your money, you ain't want to take no discount. You figure out how to deal with this roster next year.
Hmm.
Let's see what you gonna do.
So again, it's all about how we structure these contracts. But the AYP, the APY, excuse me, I always say that wrong. APY. It's funny. I was looking at the top 10 quarterbacks with the highest APY. I'm gonna start at number 10. Kyler Murray,
Oh
46.1.
God.
Yeah.
A quick question, because we're still talking on the show. How much longer is Kyler Murray gonna be in Arizona?
Nah, he'll be fine.
You sure?
And yeah, because the team has so much that it needs worked around, and he'll be fine.
Okay.
He's not in that kind of hot water. He had a quiet season, but it was actually pretty decent. And
Yeah,
the fact
it
they
was,
want
it
to
was one of
see,
his better seasons.
yeah, and they want to see the connection with him and Marvin Harrison Jr.
I guess you're
So
right.
he
I guess you're right.
so
You're right.
yeah,
You're
there's
right.
no he not in hot water like he was last year, the year before. That's when he was in trouble, when he had all that stuff of not looking at film and stuff. That's when he
Okay.
was in trouble.
So 46 million Deshaun Watson.
Oh
40,
God.
46.1 Kyler Murray.
Mind you, Deshaun Watson ain't playing this season.
Okay. So that's two quarterbacks right there that Brock Purdy
God,
has.
lead Deshaun.
Okay. Jalen Hurts just won the Super Bowl. He's MVP, 51 million.
All right. So
You know what his cap hit is next year?
what?
Your Super Bowl MVP cap hit is 21 million, dog. They
Uh-huh.
Howie Roseman is a genius, bro.
Yeah, that's how you draw it up. Lamar Jackson, 52 million. Okay. We know that's
On the
Lamar
cusp.
Jackson.
Yep, but he on the cusp, so it's okay. You
Yeah.
can live with it.
He's balling.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can live with it.
He's better than Brock Purdy.
Yeah,
Uh,
Baltimore just need a couple more things, and they can probably be in the Super Bowl next year.
okay.
Yeah, so you put him above Brock Purdy. That works.
Okay, 52-5, Justin Herbert.
Mm, let's see
He's
what Jim
okay.
Harbaugh does.
Okay,
I'll put a
listen.
slight edge, because he got a gifted arm. It's a
Who?
gifted arm. Like
What?
Brock Purdy can throw, but Justin Herbert gifted.
Okay, here's my thing. Brock Purdy, yes, has accomplished more, but it's not just Herbert's fault.
Exactly,
That's my
I
thing.
give you that.
It's
I
not
give you
exactly.
Justin
that.
Herbert's fault. It's Brandon. It's the no. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm not gonna put 100% on Brandon Staley. It's the organization's fault because, and I've said,
Yes,
and Trish agrees with me. They
yes.
should not have gotten rid of Anthony Lynn
Anthony Lynn.
and Pep Hamilton. Pep Hamilton had him ready. When
Yes,
Tyrod Taylor took that shot to the rib and it puncture a hole in his lung, and he was out for
yes,
the game at the last second, they got Justin Herbert ready. And Herbert finished that season as a starter, and he looked fantastic.
yes.
That's when they messed up, and that's not Justin Herbert's fault. I'm not.
But I
I'm not. I will. You're right,
I give
Trisha.
him the edge.
Herbert has the better arm, but Purdy has done more. But it's not Herbert's
Yeah,
fault.
Okay.
yes.
All right. 53 million, Jared Goff.
I take Brock Purdy over Jericho.
I take
Well,
Brock Purdy over Jared Goff because
It's
I
not even the poo poo Jared Goff. I've seen Brock Purdy be clutch.
right.
right. That's my thing. That's my thing. What still bothers me about Goff is he's just not clutch enough. He's a good quarterback,
Good quarterback.
If
and
if
he can play with leads because he has
if
that
the
defense
initiative,
and
if
he
the
has the
team has
run
the
game.
right, if the team has the initiative, Jared Goff is good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But when you ask
everything's
Jared
gotta be
Goff to,
working.
yeah, when you ask him to put on a cape, no,
Yeah, if you gotta save the day, it ain't gonna happen.
yeah.
right.
53-1, Tua Tagovailoa.
Tough,
Injuries,
tough.
injuries are limited. Injuries are limited.
And I think Brock Purdy got a better arm than Tua.
And that's why I said limited because Tua can only throw the ball in immediate inside the numbers. That's it.
Yeah, we've
And,
seen Brock Purdy chuck that thing.
right.
Okay,
I told Eric again. When we was in the green room. When it comes to Tua, if you ask him to throw a deep out or come back to the sideline, forget it.
all right. 55 million, Trevor Lawrence and Jordan Love.
Trevor Lawrence is not a quarterback over Brock Purdy at all.
Nope, neither is Jordan Love. Jordan Love too reckless with the football.
That's true too.
All right. 55 million again, Joe Burrow.
Of course, it's Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow's, yes, okay. And number
Minus the
one,
whole injury portion.
60 million, Dak Prescott.
He's over
No,
Dak.
Yeah.
he's
He's
over
So
over
Dak.
Dak.
you looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the top 11 quarterbacks. Brock Purdy is better than top
Tell me,
paid.
tell me,
Top
tell
paid.
me real. So tell me real quick. Tell me the outside of the ones that we say he's better than, and outside of Dak Prescott, tell me the other numbers. I mean, tell me the other. Yeah, tell me the other numbers. So tell me Lamar, Joe.
Okay, Lamar's at 52.
Uh huh.
Joe Burrow's at 55.
Where Josh Allen at?
Josh Allen is Josh down here at 43.
Here's what I did. So not going to count Josh Allen. Not going to count Dak Prescott because Jerry was just crazy giving that number.
He was
So
insane.
Brock Purdy belongs between 52, I would say 52 and 54 million. That's a fair range for Brock Purdy.
I was saying 50 to about 56. That's what I was saying.
Because the only reason why I can't say 60 is because Jerry
It's just
just
stupid.
made that he just dumb.
Yeah, he's stupid. Yeah.
Now, if you said Joe had that 60, Lamar had that 60, Josh Allen had that 60, or whatever, okay. But no, Jerry was just stupid. So yeah, I would say 56.
You
I
know
give I
what?
don't I'm hesitant on that because Joe warrants that 55.
You know
Yeah.
what?
So 50 to 56 is my window. That's why my speculation of where this
Hey,
deal gets done.
hey,
If
can I
they
say
gave him
something about
53, 54, I'd be cool.
can I say something about Josh Allen?
Hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if not this year, the next year he gets a contract extension because I'm looking at his contract now on Spotrac, Track, and he's gonna be running out of guaranteed money soon. So, and I'm sure they're gonna want to keep him around because he's 20. If he's not 29 now, he's gonna turn 29 soon. Okay, he's
So
28.
they'll so
So,
based on that, based on the roster, they can afford to wait another year because basically all the key pieces that he need outside of what's that boy named Rizal on the defense side of the ball, they're all still on their rookie contracts. So he
okay.
could. Now you got to see what James Cook with the whole James Cook situation, how that gonna pan out.
Yeah,
But
he
they
talking
could
about he
wait
wants.
another year.
He said he wants some bread. James
Yeah,
Cook.
y'all hear he went like what 13, $15 million. I was like,
Yeah.
boy,
What you think
Yeah,
this is? The
James
80s?
yeah, James Cook
Yeah.
need to slow it down. Saquon Barkley is Saquon Barkley. You're not Saquon Barkley. You
Yeah.
did
nah, I
well.
would.
You good.
And
You
see,
really
But
good.
the thing
you ain't
is,
Saquon.
running back. There's plenty of running backs coming out this year, so James Cook could
Hello.
be. James Cook could be on his on his way out of Buffalo, and they just replace him.
Hello.
Yeah, they really could. 'Cause
And
there's a
because
lot of running backs
and
this season.
listen, they will replace him because Joe Brady's gonna run the football.
Yeah,
What I always say, the running backs come a dime a dozen, and the NFL got a dollar.
Yep,
yeah,
Hey,
yeah. He need to got a little too much dipping in the chip. James Cook.
yeah,
James
You
Cook.
could play, but
And see, the thing is, he might end up somewhere like Tyreek Hill did, where he might put himself out of
and get exposed.
not just exposed, but just get him out of playoff contention.
yeah. He be somewhere you mad where you losing all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You better keep your mouth shut, Slim, and play. Man, listen, that's another thing
Yeah,
too. We just talk about how quarterbacks don't take less money, keep title around them. Man, look, if I'm on a team that's almost a Super Bowl contender every year, I might just take less money to try to stay with that team as long as possible, try to get a ring.
yeah.
depending on my position, I would. Yep. Now, here's the thing with the running back situation. I know we're trying to move forward now to get on this tangent. Thing about the running back position is, yes, what Saquon and what Derrick Henry did this season has rejuvenated the running back position. But all these running backs that's looking at, oh, I'm about to get paid, I'm about to get paid. Can you get 2,000 yards? Because that's the standard if you want to get paid like
Yes,
Saquon did. Can you get to
yes,
can you break the rushing record? Because if you can't, you need to pump your brakes. You probably a few $1 million short than from what
Yeah,
Saquon getting.
no, that's true
You need to
too.
pump your brakes. And I think that's the part that is, they need to kind of ring in their head. All these guys talking about some, well, yeah, look what Saquon did. The running back position about to get paid. No, Saquon got paid. And Saquon showed why he'd get paid. But y'all forget Saquon was the number two pick for a reason.
hmm
Saquon Barkley earned his money. Derrick Henry had 1,900 yards and averaged 5.9 yards a carry.
I'm saying if you can you do
Yes,
that?
Tristan, you're right. Can you get 2,000 yards and or can you average almost 6 yards a carry?
Exactly.
And for the majority of y'all, the answer is no.
And the answer is no.
Because really, if it wasn't for Barkley and Henry, you're probably looking at someone like a Josh Jacobs who I think had a good, let me see, had a good season. Yeah, 1,300 yards. Okay, and that was 4.4 yards to carry, 15 touchdowns. That's good.
Ex- Exactly. Derrick Henry and Saquon have historically great years. So
Right.
unless you're gonna
Those
do
were
what they do,
outliers.
yes. Unless you're gonna
exactly.
do what they do,
Those are anomalies. That's the exception and not the norm.
Thank you.
exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, uh, but yeah, man, that those are the guys that are potentially on the move and could be getting new contracts and basically,
One more.
who do
Yeah,
we
we're
leave
missing
out?
one.
We,
The
we
big
didn't go
man.
with we didn't go with Miles Garrett.
Yep, the big
Oh,
boy.
Miles Garrett. Oh, wow. Yeah,
Now
we
we
covered
did we
him a
did touch
couple
on him a
weeks
few
ago.
weeks ago, but we do it
Yeah,
again. Because Miles Garrett seems to be on the move. And listen,
Yeah, come on and watch Tim out. We got you, brother.
man,
here's the thing.
We
Here's the
got you,
thing.
brother.
Here's the thing.
Seafood on me. Seafood on me.
Here's the
All you can
thing
eat
though.
crabs.
Here's the thing though.
Mumbo sauce.
Cleveland has to
Mumble sauce.
agree.
Hey Trisha, man, wings, fries, and mumble sauce, baby.
Listen,
And
I
this
will
is
be
some
his
go-go
personal
music.
driver.
You
I'll
said
be his
what?
personal driver. You hear me?
Cleveland has to agree to want to trade him. They do not have to trade him. These
Yeah.
guys that are asking for trades, that's the one thing. When we started with Debo Samuel, you
So
asked for a trade. That doesn't mean that we're going to trade you.
so the thing with Miles Garrett with Washington, because I'm saying it as a fan, but I also believe that Adam Peters, unless he believes that we're literally like one big piece like that away, Adam Peters is not going to be so reckless because of the fact that they got him. It's not just 1 year left on the deal; they got 2 years on him. That he has to be a Cleveland Brown if they don't want to trade him. And so they're going to be like, "Oh, we need the sun, moon, and stars in your firstborn." If
Yep.
you think we want to trade Miles Garrett, the only way it could work out where we can get a decent trade to get him is if Miles Garrett is willing to sit out. That's the only way it works. If he's willing to sit out and to start losing some money to not play, that's the only way it's going to work. So, yeah, I mean, I'm saying that as a fan that I want him to, but I also don't want to give up the sun, moon, and stars and my firstborn
That's what it's going to
for
take.
Miles Garrett
Yeah.
because I'm still traumatized from the trade that we did with the Rams for RG3.
Oh yeah, God,
I'm
I
still
remember that.
traumatized. It took like 7 years to recover from that. That
I
I'm
remember
still
that.
traumatized. So
I remember
no,
that. Yeah, that was rough, man.
it
And
was
don't,
rough.
but that was rough because of the injury, man.
Yeah, I
That
mean, we only got 1 year from that,
yeah,
and the
that's it.
Rams had a pretty good defensive players from that trade. So I don't.
Also, Hassan Reddick is available as a free agent. So teams that may not want to go through all
And,
the trade stuff,
there you go. There you go.
you got a guy like Hassan
Healthy?
Max
Reddick.
Crosby. Oh yeah,
Like,
Hassan Reddick's
Well,
healthy.
Crosby is,
well, I
is
mean, not
he's
healthy, but is
great
he in
and
shape? My bad. My question is he in shape?
Yeah, he's in shape. He's in
yeah.
shape.
You,
They're not
but
sure. The Eagles aren't sure Josh if they can keep Josh Sweat. That's another one. He could have been the MVP of the Super Bowl.
yes,
The thing with Max Crosby is that the Raiders are a little more desperate situation than Cleveland because of all that they've invested being in Las Vegas. So with Max Crosby, they could go with like, okay, well we'll take this amount for Max Crosby.
There are some interesting edge rushes that are available in case you don't want to go after or
Miles Garrett.
start Miles Garrett. There's like I said, you have Hassan Reddick. Okay. Then there's Chris Homenihue for the Chiefs. Situational guy. He's very good. Uh um
Khalil Mack is a free agent.
Khalil Mack's a free agent. Josh Sweat's a free agent. Lorenzo Carter, Aziz Ojolari,
Joey Bosa could get cut.
Joey Bosa could get cut or traded.
Cam Jordan
And
could get cut.
there's
Cam
also some really good pass rushers in this draft, y'all.
Peyton
That too.
Turner,
That too.
and also it's a very deep pass rushing class. The
Because
pass rushers and the defensive
and it's not just Abdul Carter from Penn State. The kid from Marshall is good.
it's
James
quite a
Pierce
few.
is good.
Yeah,
So there's some pass rushers
it's a very deep pass rusher class. It's a very deep defensive back class. Definitely with corners, especially
and defensive tackle.
and D tackle, the whole D line, and
Hey,
yeah,
they got 41 D tackles going to the combine this year. It was only 25 last year.
yeah.
Yep,
So it's a very deep class. So a lot of these teams, if their scouting department is good enough, they're gonna be like, nah, we ain't gotta trade for this guy. We're gonna go get a young buck. They can go
that's
do
what I'm
this.
saying.
Yeah,
Miles got to be willing to sit.
yeah. We're gonna take our chance with this young guy that's gonna be cheap, and we ain't gotta worry about paying him for 4 years. You know, um, that which brings us to as we get ready to close out this one. Um, Next week we're gonna be talking about the off-season needs of the all 32 teams. Okay. And what that could mean for them going into this offseason through free agency as well as the draft and how we think they're going to address those needs. Um, then further along, we're going to get into our draft talk. Each member of the podcast, we cover different position groups.
My favorite
Myself,
time of the year.
it's that time of the year. It's Christmas time for football fans. I've already been watching film on defensive backs. I'm going to start on receivers soon. Brandon covers the whole front seven
And tight ends.
and tight ends, and Tristan is the quarterback whisperer. Steve takes running backs. So we're gonna be talking about. We're gonna be looking at film on a bunch of guys. We have been already, and we're gonna be interested in hearing your questions about that as we move on into the off season. But we
I'm
just
gonna
want
put
to.
I'm gonna put a little teaser in there, Eric, while you talking about it. This is the most sleeper driven quarterback class I've probably ever watched.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave it just like that.
Hold on. Say that again.
This is the most sleeper driven quarterback class I've ever seen.
Interesting. So basically, what you're saying is that these quarterbacks are better than what some people are saying.
Yep.
And you know what? I've heard that three quarterbacks should go in the top 10. And
Hmm.
to me, it sounds like it might be Shadur, Cam Ward, and Jackson Dart. Correct me if I'm wrong.
There's a quarterback that might be better than Shador and Cam.
He's teasing for the upcoming draft shows.
Yes,
So
he is. He really is.
you guys have got to you guys are gonna have to watch us on
Got to
Monday.
tune in.
You
Hmm.
got to
Hey,
tune
well,
in.
I tell you what. I'm sorry. If you tell me that four quarterbacks could possibly go in the top 10, I'm loving that because that pushes down somebody else to number 12 for me.
I'm telling you that you got to tune in.
No. I know that. I know. No, I know what you're saying. But the way I'm translating it is four quarterbacks could possibly go in the top 10. My team picks 12. The more quarterbacks go in the top 10, the more that slides somebody else down. So if that's four quarterbacks possibly, and you know Travis Hunter is going to be number 5. I know he's not quarterback, but that's the fifth player that's going in the top 10 easily. That's pushing players down.
We're
That's
gonna talk
all I'm
about when we get
saying.
them episodes. We're gonna talk about when we get them episodes.
But that's cool. That's cool. Not. You're right. That's cool. But Eric, finish up, and then I close it out.
Okay, so basically, we want to let you know that for those of y'all who just started following us and hadn't followed us last year, Just a Fan podcast does not go on hiatus during the off season of the NFL season. There is no off season on Just a Fan podcast because there's always something going on. So we'll be on Mondays all the way up until probably the start of the regular season. And we want you,
Except for draft week.
except for draft week, we're probably going to do a live draft show like we did last year. Uh, and we had a fantastic time doing that. Um, but definitely, you want to make sure that if you are a diehard NFL fan or a diehard fan of your sure team, you want to tune into Just a Fan podcast and feel free to ask questions, to make comments. And if it's good stuff, we're going to put it on the screen. We're going to talk about it. Throughout the off season, there's going to be some time where we're going to actually have um, dead periods where we're going to have what's called viewers choice shows. Viewers choice shows is where it's the entire docket, everything that we're going to talk about on the show is going to be based off of questions from our followers. Then there's also going to be shows where you may have an opportunity to be a guest on our show when we cover each division. We do a division by division breakdown. That's usually after the draft and after free agency of who we think is going to win the division based on the moves that they made in the offseason. So we have a full plate. Okay, we don't do off off season. What is off season for Just a Fan podcast? I don't know what that is, but make sure you tuning in. Also, make sure you're telling a friend and having them subscribe. We need more subs for our YouTube page. Um, I put the link in on all the other social media. Make sure you go there and go to our YouTube page and hit subscribe and hit the like button on all our videos as it helps the algorithm. Brandon, take us out.
One more thing too. Another show that we need to work on this off season, and we'll talk about it in the green room and also through the group chat.
Ah, yeah.
Quarterback malpractice.
Quarterback malpractice. That's gonna be a seminar led by Tris TV.
I can't wait.
So Tristan, we need to talk about that off and on. Okay, and we need to pick a date. We'll talk. But anyway, quarterback malpractice. Be on the lookout for that. All right. So thank you all for watching us tonight. We are live on YouTube, Twitter, not Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch. Okay. You can follow us on Twitter though, IG, Facebook, and TikTok. Okay. That direction. Oh Lord, that was terrible. That direction.
No,
There
you
you
had it
go.
right the first time. Yeah,
No, because no, I had it like this.
yeah it's like
No,
Yeah,
let's
that's
see.
right for us.
Oh, so for y'all it's right, but for me it's wrong.
oh yeah, because we got it. You point in the right direction.
Okay, that's crazy. Hold on. Oh yeah, yeah. So okay, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at it on my screen. Yes, the right direction. That's crazy.
Yes, I can
Okay.
do this and point at both of y'all.
Anyway, okay. Well, anyway, next to me, Trish TV, the quarterback that runs this whole thing. Remember, y'all, he's the media brain. Okay. Down below, panel 316, the good guy with the black hat. Remember, no off season for Just a Fan podcast. We are live again next Monday night. Monday, 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 Monday. I'm emphasizing that. Me, Coach Williams, the NFL Encyclopedia, the Wildcat quarterback that runs this whole thing. Build your team through the trenches
Absolutely,
if you want to win a championship.
There you go, showed
absolutely.
you.
Hey, hey, listen, Michigan showed you the year before in college football. Good night, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, short of all ages. Peace out.